My mental health is characterized by dissociative issues, auditory hallucinations, mood swings, and trauma. I could probably go from the top. It was shortly after my parents got divorced, and I was probably about 10, maybe 11 years old. And I would lay in bed, and I would hit my head against the wall over and over and over and over again while just laying there crying. And the only excuse I was able to give my dad was that I wanted to go home, but I didn't know where home was. About my high school, my freshman year, possibly my sophomore year, I really don't know how to characterize it, because I mean it kind of has elements of psychosis, but it has elements of dissociation as well. But I was sitting out on my parents' back porch. I was smoking a cigarette, kind of like I sort of am now. And then all of a sudden, I started looking around. Like the grass, the trees, the sky, the wood planks, even my body just became completely and totally unfamiliar to me. Like, I knew what all of it was, but I didn't. It was like being in a constant state of deja vu over everything. So, and about that time I started hearing a voice too, and it kind of was coming from behind my head, about right here. But it wasn't saying anything negative, it was pretty much commenting on what was going on around me. Just kind of saying, hey, you know, this is what's going on, don't worry about it, everything will be okay, and whatnot. After about, I don't know, a 30-minute eval with the psychiatrist, he put me on a crap load of bipolar medication, and he diagnosed me as bipolar. I was on Depakote, Seroquel, and Paxil, I believe. It might have been Prozac. I'm not sure which one came first. That medication really fucks you up, actually. I was on a lot. I was on a lot of Depakote, a lot of Seroquel, even though I wasn't really, like, displaying manic-type symptoms. I ran into a really bad stage of depression. But it wasn't like lingering in a way. It was just like I was able to get up. It wasn't like catatonic depression. I was able to get up and do things and whatnot, but then I'd come home after school and I would just fucking sit there and be like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. I feel like shit. I feel miserable. I just don't know what I'm doing. Like, everything is uncertain. And that was about the time that the voice came back, and this time it was in my head. And it was still trying to tell me, hey, don't worry about it, everything's fine. Just relax, chill down, chill out, and whatnot. And it ended up going away as stress and depression went away. Going to see a therapist, rather. And I unloaded on her, like, everything. I told her all my past relationships, I self-sabotaged them. I used to mutilate myself when I was in my teenage years, about the time I got diagnosed with bipolar. And I would have bouts of some dissociation. Told her I didn't know who the hell I was. I didn't know. Yeah, and that's an issue that I've always had, actually. Told her I was feeling somewhat depressed. I didn't know exactly what my emotions were, because I've always kind of felt that way. And I don't know, I just psycho-puked at her. And like, I saw this look in her eyes, like, oh, Jesus Christ, like, this person is fucked up. Like, I'm not used to this. That's when I started depersonalizing, derealizing a lot. I mean, before I ended up checking myself into the hospital, I was depersonalizing and derealizing on a daily basis. And I felt in my heart that something bad was going to happen. And during that time, I ended up going to my psychiatrist, telling him what's going on, and going to a therapist for psychotherapy and cognitive behavioral therapy, trying to head off the coming storm that I felt. Well, it wasn't quite enough. We ended up in my CBT therapy. We ended up running across some trauma. And with that trauma, some really weird stuff happened. And it freaked me the hell out. And I ended up checking myself into the hospital. I didn't really know who I was. I gave my age wrong. I was unable to do simple math. Reality testing was good, but I gave my address wrong 3 times to the billing department, the initial admissions, and even when doing the reality testing. That was fun. So, they diagnosed me with bipolar 2 while doing what the outpatient is DBT. And I was doing CBT and going to a psychiatrist. And more and more trauma surfaced, and voices started coming in my head. Not from an external source, in my head. And I was still dealing with the depersonalization and the derealization. And I don't know, it was fucking weird. The voices I heard were basically 5 distinct different people, 2 of which were children. One a boy and one a girl. And that freaked me the fuck out, because they came to me one night when I was trying to sleep, and they were talking to each other, and they're basically saying that we didn't want to go to bed, so let's go ahead and play tag. And they played tag in my fucking head while I'm trying to sleep. So I told that to my DBT group, told that to my CBT therapist, and more of this pattern started to emerge, where today I was diagnosed as having post-traumatic stress disorder, which is pretty much right on the money, because when I experience the trauma, I am essentially transported back to those times, and it's like I'm reliving it over and over and over again. This thing of all this trauma and issues coming up with still the derealization and depersonalization. I'm going to be hospitalized again. I'm going up to Timberlawn Trauma Care Center in Dallas for 21 days. I'll be there for 21 days.